Hello. I know every time that you see me, I'm literally have a pillow behind my head, but it's like the only way I feel comfortable, and I'm sitting in a really uncomfortable position right now because that's like the only way I can film videos and make them look like they have a tripod or something. So today's video is going to be another video, Mike, sort of, I guess you could call it a series where I go deep into like really scandalous and the dark sides of um, people's lives. So if of famous people's lives. So if that's something that interests you, I recommend you keep watching. If not, you should probably click off. So today we're going to be talking about Robert Smith from The Cure, which kind of surprised me when I first heard of these allegations. Yeah, it's because you never think of like Robert Smith is like the last person you think of to ever, you know. I guess it just proves that this obviously appearances. Don't judge someone based on their appearance, even if it's a good thing, because then again you just are proved wrong later on, and so yeah, it has been I've just looked it up, and it has been covered on, some major websites. Like I'm on Sportskeeda right now, which I've never like looked at before, but it's like a news site. And this news kind of came out a month ago, so it's technically old news, but it's still really rarely talked about, if not at all, in the media. Although obviously this website commented on it, so I I praise them for doing that, because whether the allegations are true or not, I'm obviously not going to say I know for sure that they are true, but it's still obviously good to, like Robert Smith, big deal. He's like one of the biggest rock stars. Should I call him a rock star? Like the world has ever produced, and yeah, I'm surprised it's not really going out there. And so originally I only knew about this because I watched Drama Queen's videos, and again, you should probably subscribe to her. If not me, then I recommend you subscribe to her channel. She's got like really good hot takes on different drama situations, and I'm not in any way affiliated with her. I just wanted to say that. And Drama Queen, if you're watching, thanks. Okay, so it says, this was published exactly 1 month ago. British rock band The Cure's lead singer Robert Smith is facing grooming allegations. Currently, a video accusing the singer of allegedly being in a relationship with a 14-year-old has appeared online. And so this person who's used the pseudonym Milka, who posted these allegations, and so people are thinking that she's the one that is obviously that's what it's happened to her. And so her real name is Danielle R. Sklar, and at that time the band had not released a statement, and obviously it's been a month later, and I don't think they're planning to anytime soon. But yeah, I just thought I'd wait a bit and see if like anything else came up, or if Robert Smith himself might reply to the allegations, because as we know with Colleen Ballinger, it took quite some time for her to do, but turns out it wasn't even an apology anyway, so I'm not going to call it that, but for her, some people just takes ages to put out a statement, or as we saw with Lizzo, within a few days, but she still didn't say yet. So Twitter user LolCowBF was one of the many people who shared the viral video that showed the grooming allegations. The alleged victim, so Milka, said Smith would fall asleep on top of me, and he was so sweaty and hairy hair. And then in another instance, the musician allegedly made the victim eat food that he had spit out of his mouth. I'm not sure if this is Milka. It says the names are censored for privacy reasons, but yeah, the persons in the end, they said they ate the food, but yeah, he said once he was making us. Oh, this is Milka. Once, sorry guys, I'm off the rails. So once he was making us eat food, burritos, and he was cutting up the tomatoes by chewing them in his mouth and spitting them out, and the cheese too. And then he would tell us to eat the food he spit out, and if we did it, it meant we really loved him. Yeah, I really got to stop giving dead eye looks to the camera because I know how freaky that is. But come on, like, what is what kind of person does he think he is, that just because I am a well-known person and a lot of people love me and I have some great songs, because obviously I grew up with The Cure. I mean, I'm not like, I don't know a lot of their songs, but I remember my dad used to play In Between Days when I was little, and so I grew up loving that song, and yeah. And so Milka, in the end, went to one of the Cure's concerts to confront Robert Smith for his actions. And I didn't even know this part. This part wasn't mentioned in Drama Queen's video. She claimed that he recognised her and he told her that she had gotten, quote, old and fat. And so, yeah, like, the fact that he remembers her is, like, really disgusting. It reminds me of, like, Bill Clinton, like the story John Mulaney told on his like famous, one of his best stand-up skits I admit he's ever done. About to go on a huge tangent, but his mum was a huge fan of Bill Clinton when she was in. I mean, it's not safe to call him a fan, but when they were in like school, so they went to the same school. So when he was running for president, obviously it was a big deal for John Mulaney's mum, and so she took John and her to go to the event campaign thing, and then Bill Clinton still remembered her all those years later. And so I think it just shows that, like, creepy people, like, they will hold on to every detail about you, especially if they're in love with you. And even if they break up with you, those feelings obviously have not gone away, because those people are obviously pedos or p-words. And it's just, yeah, it's so this, yeah, I think that proves like how creepy a person can get. And I think Robert Smith, this just shows what kind of person he is, because if he just remembers who she is, obviously that's totally fine. I guess he has a good memory, but if he's just gonna comment like saying that, if that was obviously alleged, yeah, he is just such a horrible person. And yeah, I'm obviously not a huge fan, like the Blur video I did, so I'm not going to be like, it's such a big deal to me, but obviously I know there's huge Cure fans out there, and they must, if they have ever found out about this, I kind of don't want them to know, because it's just like, Robert Smith is like the last kind of person you would ever think would do something like that. And sorry for a second. Yeah, and Robert Smith is just oh, and then there's one comment. Oh yeah, and then at the end of the article it says, considering the severity of the allegation of the situation, fans are likely expecting the band to address the allegations, and clearly they have not. And this came out like 1 month ago. So someone commented, in 1984 there wasn't text message technology on desktops then, no laptops and no cell phones either. Okay, a postcard he sent her in 1988. This looks like someone trying to shake down a long past connection with the famous celebrity 40 years later. Did she meet him in Trump Tower too? So obviously we know that this person, probably a Trump supporter or just some like weird conspiracist or something like that, who just obviously like, this is just clout chasing, whatever. We know well enough that whenever something like this comes out, there's always the first person is like, we're always quick to jump on the woke people who are like these are real allegations, but then what we forget about is immediately there's still just the same people going, no, it's not true, you guys are just freaking clout chasers that get out of our way, like you're just causing drama. So I think those people are more like out of their heads than the woke people. Like, obviously the woke people can have some, you know, there's extremes to both sides, but, you know, this is, it's just, yeah. And so, yeah, I just, like, thought since, like, Radiohead, I knew that Robert Smith did not like Radiohead. He thought that Radiohead's, not that this has got anything to do with this, but it just reminded me that Robert Smith was pretty cold to Radiohead because when their album In Rainbows came out, Robert Smith did not like the idea of money, because Radiohead put out how much do you want to pay for this album, how much do you think it's going to cost, or something like that, and Robert Smith just dissed the idea as saying, like, this is ridiculous. And obviously I'm guessing Radiohead would be pretty upset by that, because I'm guessing that one of the inspirations was The Cure. And so, well, after I read that, I remember thinking I was amused, but I was also quite, like, that made me interested in Robert Smith. Like, what a cool person that, it's not like I don't like Radiohead, but it's cool that, like, I would think that he would like that sort of music, so for him to just go out and criticise him for it to me, was just like, oh, this guy's, like, really strong and opinionated. And obviously I learnt his stance on Radiohead after he did a remix earlier this year for Noel Gallagher's new album, Council Skies. And then I saw that and I was like, well, I'm guessing, Noel Gallagher is an outspoken Radiohead hater, so I reckon Robert Smith and him are probably close friends or something, so I don't think Noel Gallagher said anything bad about Robert Smith. But aside from that, I just think, and now I know, hang on, Robert Smith is an asshole, and Radiohead, Tom York, as far as I know of, has not really done anything, like, controversial or anything. So, yeah, that's when I realised, it's always the people who criticise, it seems like the people that just, like, and I reckon if Noel Gallagher knew about this, he would not be okay with it, obviously. I reckon he'd just say, like, fuck you, Robert Smith, like, I reckon Noel would just, like, you know, do what he usually does, go on a talk show and then straight up be like, I was shocked by these allegations, blah, blah, whether they're true or not, I don't stand for it, and I'll delete my remix if you can even do that with Robert Smith. But I know that he and, like, Sushi and the Banshees had some, like, fighting and stuff, so, and she was obviously, like, a really pioneer for women in that time of music. And so, knowing about his history now with women, I don't really stand by him or whatever feud he had with her. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I don't know about it, and I don't really care, to be honest, but I care about this. This is not just, like, feuding. This is obviously serious stuff, and I really hope that it gets sorted out. Obviously, we still haven't heard anything from the band yet, but if you do, please let me know and I'll do a future video on it. And yeah, if you know something also, please comment.